Now, thanks to Clan Selection Volume 2, this deck's finally playable. We're going to be going over my Battle Sister Premium deck profile. It's a deck that I've had for a while. I mean, even back when the Battle Sister deck was like super broken back in G. But as V came out, Battle Sister just definitely just got crept out. It wasn't that great anymore. But thanks to the clan selection cards, the deck's definitely really viable. There's a way to make the deck even better, but I didn't want to go that route. Wanted to go more on the standard plus play, but there's actually quite a few old cards in this deck, so that's kind of neat. So you'll have some fun with that. So let's just get into the deck profile and then just share what I came up with. For the starter, I'm just using a V Series starter, still really good. There's a few Battle Sister starters that might see some play, but just drawing the card and getting a quick shield is good. So that's what I'm using. And then for the triggers, you are going to be using some vanilla cards, just because it has the name. Battle Sister Ginger, it's a crit trigger. I'm using the V Series version, of course, because you want the power and the shield. I'm also using 2 of the Premium Collection Stride Fodder Crit. This card does not have Battle Sister in its name, so do be careful. I'm also using 4 of the Draw PGs. Again, Draw PG is good because it frees up your grade 1 spot, but also, drawing is good. And then, but also again, this does not have Battle Sister in its name, so please be careful. And the reason is, the name does matter for a few of your cards, so that's why it is important to not have too many non-Battle Sister cards. I have 2 vanilla draw triggers. These are also Battle Sister V Series, so there's that. And then for the heals, you have some liberty to play around with it, but I decided it was a good move on my part. I am playing 3 of the promo Battle Sister Pulverone. This is what we call like a resource heal trigger. What that means is that when you use the effect by you calling a G guard, and if you have a heal trigger in the drop zone, you can bind the 2 heals, and you can either counter charge or soul charge. This deck does do a lot of counter blasting, and I mean you could run out of soul too, depending on what you're doing. So there's a little bit of resource management involved with this deck, but this is really crucial. And then I have just 1 of the V Series Battle Sister heal trigger. So it's not too bad when you draw into these. That's where they come in handy. Or if you draw them with Battle Sister effects, so that's fine. This obviously, you want to hit this on the defensive, but this could honestly be another of these if you want it to be pure consistent. This is just being a little greedy, but I prefer V numbers, obviously, but these are still good. Definitely countercharging is important. For the grade 1s, I'm playing 4 Stride Fodders because striding is good. This just counts as a grade 3 when you discard for the cost of stride. She also has an effect where you can reveal a grade 3 Battle Sister and then search your deck for a Battle Sister grade 3, and then you can add it to your hand and discard any card. So you can discard your draw triggers if you want to get the effect off. It's a why not. Usually, the grade 3 Battle Sisters in the deck, you can use any of them. You're not going to feel too bad if you ride it, but this card is pretty good. And then I'm playing only 2 copies, but this was from the premium or clan selection set. Battle Sister Kasata, I think that's how that's pronounced. Sorry, I'm butchering it. But her effect is once per turn on rear, when you drive check reveals a trigger, you may have this unit gain 10k, so she's an 18k booster. The thing with Battle Sisters is that you are going to hit crazy high numbers in the early game, mid game, and late game. Battle Sisters has always been like a rush, very aggro power deck, and then she's just like, wow, she gets you there. I'm also playing 4 copies of Panatone. I think that's how that's pronounced. She was a promo card, but then she got a rarity bump upgrade in the clan selection. But her effect is an axe skill on rear, put it into the soul, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put one on top, the other in the bottom, and then on your next trigger check, that trigger becomes gains an additional 10k. So what that means is that all your triggers will be 20k pumps, or the first trigger you reveal, or if it's the 5k trigger, it's a 15k pump. So really useful card. I don't think you're gonna be getting the trigger pump that often. I mean, that's not the point of the effect. The point of the effect is just to stack your deck, where you're trying to draw certain cards, or just to make sure you can confirm a trigger, because you just want to hit the double crits or triple crits. This deck, you will definitely have more chances of hitting 2 triggers in one attack when you're doing your triple drives or twin drives. So that's really nice. Triggers are definitely a tool for this deck. It's just an additional extra power, because you're gonna constantly be stacking your deck. So it's really good. And to round up our last grade 1s, I got 4 copies of Torja. I think that's how that's pronounced. She's from the clan selection, brand new card. Definitely a good ride target. She has a Vanguard Rearguard. When placed, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a Battle Sister, put it into your hand. It's a hard once per turn, so keep that in mind. There are, as you saw on the trigger lineup, everything in the deck is Battle Sisters except for some of the trigger cards. So be careful with that, because you could whiff. But your chances of whiffing is pretty low, so you can't be too afraid. But if you really wanted to get the guarantee, you can use cards like her to stack your deck to make sure it's a Battle Sister, then play her, and then you get to do your draw card, pretty much do a draw. So that's really good. Then she has a rear guard once per turn. When you look at your deck by a card effect, she gains 5k, so that's always good. Like I said, Battle Sisters, their numbers just gets really high as you attack, so it's pretty nice. Now for our grade 2s, I'm playing 4 of the brand new Macaroon. I mean, she's not new, but V-Series Macaroon. Her effect is when you look at your deck by an effect, she gains 10k. There has been some debate if you want to use the old Macaroon, because she's a 12k beater, but this will become a 19, so I think 19 is better than 12. So go with that. But the thing is, you have to look at your deck, though. So if you don't do it, then she's just 9k. Next, we have 3 copies of Battle Sister Coquette. I think that's, no, it's like C-H-O Coquette. I think maybe that's how that's pronounced. Oh well. But she's also a good ride target. Vanguard Rearguard, when placed, Soul Blast 1, look at 5 cards, reveal 1 grade 3 among them, put it on top, and the rest of the bottom of your deck. You gotta shuffle the remaining 4 and then put that in the bottom. This is just helps you get your grade 3. You don't want to get grade stuck. For some reason, I get grade stuck once in a while with this deck, but it is what it is. So this just helps you stay consistent. And then she also gains 5k, so 14k beater. That's cool when you do her effect. So that's always nice. And then finally, I think this is definitely the MVP of the deck. This card right here, Trifle, Battle Sister Trifle. Her effect is Vanguard Rearguard, so you could ride her. It's not a feels bad moment if you ride her. You counterblast 1, look at 3 cards, call a Battle Sister from among them to R, and then put the rest on top of your deck in any order, so some more stacking. And then her auto Rearguard when she attacks. If you looked at your deck by your card's ability this turn, until the end of that battle, this unit gains 5k. So obviously you're going to be getting her effect a lot. And then you can also Soul Blast a grade 3 card, 1 grade 3 card, and your opponent cannot call Sentinels from his or her hand. Really important, because we're not playing Silent Tom in the deck. You can't do the Ichi Tom, but instead you're going to be doing the Ichi Trifle. So I feel like that's even more fun. Then for our grade 3, of course, from the clan selection, we have Fromage in the deck. Really cool card. You probably will never get her first Vanguard effect because you're always striding, but her first effect is if your opponent's at grade 3, then all your units with Battle Sister name gains 5k, which is insane. That's actually pretty good. but you're going to be striding anyway, so you're going to miss out on that effect. But then she has a Vanguard Rearguard skill, which is really good, which is when placed, Counterblast, Soul Blast, draw a card, and if your Vanguard is Battle Sister, draw another card. So shockingly, all your cards are Battle Sisters as you're riding up. So you're always going to be drawing 2 cards. So Pot of Greed is nice. And then she also has a Vanguard skill. You discard a card, and then you can look at the top. You can look at the same number of cards on the top of your deck as the number of Battle Sisters with different card names on the field. And then you can stack your deck top or bottom in any order. That's actually a really good effect. So if you go first, definitely take advantage of that. Maybe you might be able to cheese out a win before your opponent goes to grade 3. So always punish as much as you can. But you know, that effect itself is probably not too important. But if you can win, why not? And then finally, to round up our last of our grade 3s, I am using Florentine. Now, you can debate to use the other Battle Sister card from the Trinity Dragon set. That's actually pretty good too, because you have some interactions where you can be drawing cards or counter charging. So that's really good, because like I said, you're going to be counter blasting a lot and soul blasting a lot. But I find that this card definitely has more value when you're striding, because first of all, when you play it on your Vanguard, you can stack your deck. You look at the top card of your deck, put a top or bottom. That's always good. And then when you stride, you counterblast a Battle Sister in its card name. And then you also get to look at 2 cards, put 1 in hand, and stack the other one on top or bottom. And then your Vanguard gains a skill where all your Battle Sister rear guards gain 3k. So you're kind of like giving your stride units the Fromage effect. So that's pretty cool. Not 5k cool, but it's 3k cool. So that's always nice. And then you're just stacking. So this is definitely a really nice card compared to the other one, I think. You can, like I said, it is debatable if you want to use the other double R. But the thing is, when you use the other grade 3 double R to stride, it has to have Battle Sister in its card name on the stride unit. Was that how that worked? Yeah, I think that's how that worked. You get stride into a Battle Sister unit. Well, anywho, this is just any stride. That's all I know. That's all that matters. Now, going into the G zone, there's actually quite a few cards that you can pick from, but you know, there's some fun stuff here. There's this card right here. I play a 4 of. Stolen, an old card, but still really good. Pretty much her effect is counterblast 1, flip a copy, and then you may soul charge a 1. Could be important. Then you look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of your rear guard with Battle Sisters in their card names, and put in the top or bottom of your deck. So pretty much it's your Fromage, but it doesn't matter about if it has the same name cards. It's just if you have Battle Sister in their card name, then you can look. So that's really good. And then she also has a gain 3k effect if you're at GB3. So that's also really cool. So if you go into Florentine and go into Stolen, it's technically a 6k. All your Battle Sisters are getting 6k. So that's really cool. So it's just like Fromage. You can really get that effect going. I actually don't really stride this in too much though, but when you do stride into it, it's actually pretty strong. Next, we are playing 3 copies of Momo. This is from the Premium Collection. Actually, this card is just pretty busted, honestly. There was a few times where I would stride into this card, and it definitely feels very good. So her effect is when it attacks, counterblast 1, flip a card, discard up to 3 cards from your hand, and for each card you discard, 3 of your front row gains 10k. So you're obviously going to be discarding 3 cards. Don't be some kind of hero and discard 1 or 2. That's a really greedy play. Just discard the 3 cards, so everything can gain 30k in your front row. And then after the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you discarded 3 cards, you can stand this unit and get stride -2. So Pretty much, you're just going to bash face with the Vanguard, bash again, and hopefully you're stacking your deck with triggers because you're playing Battle Sisters and they have a lot of stack effects, and then you're just going to win. But this card is really good. Next, we have 4 copies of this best card right here. Pretty much, this Ichishima card, it's the old one, obviously, because you can't use the new one. It's banned. Her effect is... act Vanguard once per turn, counterblast, soul blast, flip a copy, draw 2 cards. So that's pretty insane. Sometimes you just need to draw those cards. And then she has an Oracle effect, GB3. Flip a card face up. It doesn't matter what it is. And then during that turn, your opponent cannot call Guardians or grade 0 cards. So G guards or grade 0s. So they can't G guard because even though it says from hand, they just can't play the G Guardian. That's what it says. And then for the grade 0s, you're shutting off Sentinels pretty much. If they're using the grade 0, or if they're using the grade 0 Sentinels, you're shutting that off unless they play protect markers adding to their hand. That's like the only way to like get around her, but that's okay because the trick now is instead of, like I said, we're gonna go back full circle. Instead of Ichi Tom, you're doing Ichi Triffle because her effect is your opponent just can't use Sentinels. So that gets over all Sentinels, no grade 0s, and they can't use G guards. This combo play is just insane. So that's the win con for the deck for sure if things are going as planned. So this card's amazing. It's probably one of the best stride units that OTT has. And then for the G guards, it's a little on the weak side, but it is what it is. Used to the Battle Sister G Guard. It's a counterblast, so that's kind of hefty already. It's not that great, but it's kind of neat because you do get to draw a card. So it's counterblast, draw, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a grade 1, she gains another 5k shield. So if you get the full effect off, it's a 20k shield. And then the card that you looked at, you can either put it in the top or bottom. So if it's grade 1, great, you'll get the pump, and then you just shove that right to the bottom because that's not going to be a heal trigger to save you. And then finally, we have 2 copies of Amaterasu. This card's really good. If you have the 4 cards or more in your hand, she gains 10k shield, so it's a 25k shield. It's already better than the V-Series heal trigger guard power. And then her other effect is when placed, soul charge 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it top or bottom. So another stack effect card, really good. As you know, OTT is all about stacking, looking at cards. And then finally, we have 1 Dismal. This card is really good because it'll save your one of your rear guards from getting blasted. And then, of course, if you play that weird NLK, Rufus, whatever, you can kind of cheese it out. So that's something to keep in mind. But that's it. That will be my premium Battle Sister deck profile. Thanks to the clan selection, this deck's definitely very fun to play with. Will I bring it to a BCS? Probably not, unless I'm going to go with the more vanilla build with the Zarzan and Tempest Spheres, stuff like that. Because I actually did build a competitive Battle Sister deck before clan selection, and that's just using vanillas and Zarzan. And I just wasn't a fan of that deck. This deck's really cool just because you're just going bashing face, try to get them to 5 while they're still like grade 2, and then you just try to kill. That was like the classic Battle Sisters that I remember. I still remember the video of Solemn Vanguard talking about how to beat Battle Sisters, and that was such a fun video to watch. Battle Sisters is just a really cool deck, and I'm really happy that the class selection definitely gave them a bunch of new toys because they usually get nothing. This whole V series, Battle Sisters didn't really get much. There's a few cards, but that was like, whatever. But anyway, if you're still watching this video, appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.